Welcome back to another episode of Geekorama, a podcast by geeks for geeks. We are produced by superherofiction.com, the one-stop shop for all your superhero novel needs. We are your hosts.
I'm Jeremy Flagg, author of the Children of Nostradamus universe.
And I am T.L. Heinrich, author of the Vigilantes universe.
For this week, we actually decided last minute that we were going to change stuff because we decided with the DC virtual event happening. And can we get a verdict? Fandome?
I guess. With the E, that's really how it should be pronounced, but I don't understand why they did it like that.
The only thing I could think of, and this is literally stretching, the Hall of Justice had a dome. Like, maybe he's not a DC fan. I'm missing an inside joke here, but people don't get it.
I don't know. Yeah.
So we're going to call it the fandom event because I can't bear to say fandom. But we actually were not excited necessarily, but we were interested in all the trailers that they released. And of course, in an era where no one's going to the movies, trailers are just as good all of a sudden. So we were excited about that. So we're going to be talking about both the movies and the games, and we might even dip into the miniseries a little bit, but I think the movies and the game are kind of the noteworthy things. But before we start that, we have some interesting pop culture trivia.
So I decided, because I, having seen the Suicide Squad trailer, where they lay out all the people that are going to be in it, and oh my god, that is a giant ass team. But the thing is, with the exception of a couple of people, I'm like, who the hell are these guys? And I love that they went for the Z-listers, like the ones that you're like, I never even knew this character existed. So I thought it might be fun to do a little bit of trivia about these characters. And the first one I'm going to do is TDK, otherwise known as the Detachable Kid, or, and I'm not making this up, Arm Fall Off Boy. The character first appeared in Secret Origins Volume 2, number 46 in 1989. He was originally from the future and was never canonically in the Suicide Squad. And in the movie, he's played by the wonderful Nathan Fillion.
That, I think, is the best part of it.
It is.
The character and Nathan Fillion.
Yeah, no, he's the only one I think that could play that part. And the guy's arm, the thing about TDK is his arms literally are detachable, and he beats up people with them. Like, that's his power.
I see. I will pay money for that.
I will totally pay money for that. Next up is Polka Dot Man, which easily just as cheesy and wonderful and weird as TDK. He first crossed paths with Batman in 1962's Detective Comics number 300. He uses detachable polka dots as weapons, some that transform into different objects. He's played by David Dastmalchian in the movie, and I'm sorry, David, I might have butchered your last name. And again, detachable polka dots, because why not?
So I give a lot of grief for like Spider-Man villains being kind of lame, Batman villains being kind of lame, but you would think after 300 issues we could come up with like just a mobster.
Yeah, something.
No, Polka Dot Man.
Polka Dot Man. I mean, honestly, when I was watching the trailer, I was waiting for Condiment King. I was like, please have Condiment King, please. That's probably in Suicide Squad 3. And last but not least, Ratcatcher 2. So Ratcatcher, the first Ratcatcher, was made his debut in Detective Comics number 585. The original villain actually was a rat catcher who had knowledge of the sewer tunnels system in Gotham and could talk to and train, you guessed it, rats, which he used to restrain and torture victims and also to smuggle stuff with. The film actually gender swaps the character and says that it's Ratcatcher 2, leading fans to believe that this is a legacy character. She's played by Portuguese film actress Daniela Melchior.
So Ratcatcher is just Rat King from the Ninja Turtles, then?
Basically, yes. Yes.
You know, did you see any of The Strain?
I don't think I did.
The first season was actually really good as far as vampire takeover New York City thing.
No.
But
Okay.
one of the main characters is Exterminator, and he just walks around for 4 seasons with a piece of rebar that apparently he beats rats with. And that is what's coming to mind right now. Like that level of lame.
Yeah. Well, and the character, like the way that it's drawn from the comics, actually is kind of terrifying. Walks around in like an exterminator outfit with a gas mask and having rats crawling all over him. So it is kind of disturbing, but it also kind of ridiculous. So
well, and see, if this was going to be any other movie, it's kind of like Deadpool. We were okay with Bob.
Yeah, totally okay with Bob.
Yeah. But if Bob had shown up in Avengers,
that would have been a problem.
And like Ant-Man, we had some ridiculous characters.
Yeah.
We're okay with it. There's certain movies where they fall into and they work really well as the breath of fresh air.
Agreed.
In Suicide Squad, bring on the Z-list.
Oh my God, yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, you need some of those big names to kind of round it out.
Yeah.
But I mean, you could almost take out Harley Quinn entirely, and I'm still okay watching horrible people try and save the day.
Yeah, and I do want to talk about this more in the deep dive, but I am really adoring their lineup, honestly. It's really freaking fascinating.
So geek out?
Let's do the geek out. What are you geeking out about?
So my geek out was originally going to be absolutely nothing because I have been going nonstop. I opened my cover business last weekend.
Woohoo!
Yay! So I'm now officially writing novels and designing covers for other people because I'm not going to do them for myself. Though there are a couple I would steal for myself. And it's doing fairly well right now. I'm actually kind of booked up for what I can handle with this transition back to day job stuff.
Oh my God, amazing.
So that's really good. And I'm getting the opportunity to work with a friend of mine who I've done an anthology with, and he is finishing up like a 14-book universe.
Wow.
And getting ready to launch the next big thing, and he wants someone to kind of partner with him on it. So this will be, not just a gig, but hopefully I'll be there for, hopefully he makes bank on it, and I'll be there for the long haul. So that's kind of exciting. And
that's
after I heard once I heard a story idea, I was like, I'm in. Like, this is weird. But I decided, because I've been so busy lately, I wanted to go back and just watch some like familiar kind of throwaway action films.
Uh-huh.
And so I went and rewatched all the Underworlds.
Oh, yeah! I love those movies.
So, and I'm going to get this wrong because I've already forgotten it. One was a tight film.
Yes.
Granted, the final fight scene was so anticlimactic that we literally got one little jump and a swish and it was over.
Yeah.
So that was my only complaint for the first movie. Otherwise, it was just tightly done. Mm-hmm. There was no need for more. The second one, okay, is this supposed to be a vampire romance? Like, it in post-Twilight years, it felt very Twilight-ish.
It's been a while. Was that the Lycan? Rise of the Lycans? Okay.
No, that was her and Michael Corvinus.
Oh, okay.
On the lam.
Yeah.
And like cementing their love relationship and whatever. No one cares.
I didn't buy that relationship in the first movie, I gotta say.
they were in the fourth movie. It kind of explains it as fated lovers, and you just don't know it, and so it doesn't make sense. The third movie, I stopped about 15 minutes into it and decided that it should be deleted from history. That was a train wreck. Or I might be thinking of the fourth one.
I actually haven't seen, I've seen the first one all the way through, and it's been a long time since I've seen the second one. And I haven't seen any of the other ones, but I really want to see the one with Michael Sheehan, like his backstory, right? I think it's Rise of the Lycans, because oh my forking God, his abs in that movie.
So, okay. So Rise of the Lycans is the one that I hate the most. And the reason for this is because 91, Kate Beckinsale is not in it.
Oh, yeah.
Really, Kate Beckinsale in leather is the only reason we're watching this. Which I'm not even sure if it's leather. By the fourth movie, I'm pretty sure she's just wearing latex. It got really form-fitting in the last movie. But my problem with it was the third movie of a trilogy, and it was supposed to end there. And so it was the prequel with... Yeah. Oh, so and the stuff that they were prequeling didn't matter in the first movie, barely mattered in the second movie, but would make a lot of sense for the fourth movie.
That's a weird way to write. That's a weird way to write a series, honestly.
It should have not been the third. They should have just attached it as a true prequel, but it basically Kate Beckinsale wasn't available, and so they were like, we're on a schedule, and we said this movie would happen. The fourth one, Awakening, okay, I have some problem the moment that you have to make a kid appear. The romance in the first one that I didn't quite believe, the romance that was shoved into the second one that I'm still not really buying, resulted in a kid that might as well just die because no one cares about. Oh, no. And now she's all powerful and we're going to spirit her away. Okay. We're done. It was a fine action film if you just detached it yet again. And the last one really does build off the three with Kate Beckinsale, because it just, there's a lot of new information there, like, oh yeah, we forgot to mention this in the first three movies with her, and oh yeah, there's more vampire covens, by the way. So this war that was going to kill us all in the first movie, there's still 3 other covens we haven't mentioned. So, oh my God. And how many times can a bunch of dogs suddenly get a new powerful leader that will lead them to victory? Like, did we not learn in the last 3 installments that this leader's no better than the others?
They never learn. They never learn.
There were some nifty special effects, but for the most part, I just enjoy it as Kate Beckinsale having some cool fight scenes.
Yeah. I have such a low bar when it comes to those movies. I'm like, I'm not expecting anything.
Well, so the reason I wanted to watch those is because I really want to rewatch the Blade trilogy, but I didn't have the third one, which originally we were going to talk about our favorite bad movies, and well, I'm going to talk about that one a lot. People will mock me for X3, but I stand by Blade 3. Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool in Blade 3 is the best Deadpool ever.
How many times has he played I didn't realize that Deadpool was in Blade 3.
He's not. But once you see the character, it's Deadpool.
Oh.
Literally detach Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool, take the mask off, make him a quasi-vampire and stick him in Blade 3. It's still Deadpool.
Huh. Now I really want to see it. Now I'm super
It's
curious.
funny. When him and Parker Posey in an elevator together, I lived for that scene.
Now I really got to see it.
The sexual tension was laughable and high at the same time.
Oh my God.
So
Sign
that's
me
going to be
up.
my watch list tonight is
Okay.
see how far I can get into the Blade series.
I might try to talk Dan into watching the first Blade movie. I've never seen any of them.
Really?
No, I haven't.
The first Blade is, I'm going to say, a perfect movie.
Huh. Well, then I need to watch it.
It gives you exactly what it promised. A little bit more, because some of the fight scenes are pretty cool. But is for all the Marvel mishaps, they seem to keep forgetting that Blade did it right the first time. How many Spider-Mans? How many Fantastic Fours?
Yeah.
Blade got it right the first time. In 1998.
Wow. That in and of itself.
So it was also my first exposure to techno music, and now why I'm a little obsessed. So thanks, Blade. So what have you been geeking out about? I know what you've been geeking out about.
So Lucifer season 5, the first part of Lucifer season 5 dropped last week on Netflix. I was literally counting down the hours. I told Dan on Friday, I was like, look, because I took vacation last week. I told him, I said, look, so Friday vacation, I am in our room. I am not to be disturbed. I day
alone time.
Yes, exactly. I day drank first. I mean, I never day drink, but I had my special can of sparkling rosé and my leftover pizza, and I was like, "Y'all better leave me alone." I also had a secret stash of gummy bears, and I was like, "I am here for this. I have been waiting."
How many episodes was it?
It's 8. The first part is 8.
Okay.
And they weren't splitting it wasn't really part of the plan, but because of COVID, they ended up not being able to complete shooting on the very last episode of the season. And so what they decided was we're just going to do it in 2 parts. But season 4 left off, and if you don't want any spoilers, everybody, like, you should maybe fast forward. But season 4 left off on a cliffhanger. Chloe admits her love for Lucifer, and Lucifer's like, I have to go back to hell because demon hordes are going to run rampant over the earth if I don't. And fans were like, no! Because we were waiting 4 fucking seasons for these 2 to get together, and now he goes back to hell. We're like, damn it. So this season, they let a really interesting cat out of the bag, like right away with the trailer, and that is that Lucifer has a twin brother, and his name is Michael. So the Archangel Michael is Lucifer's twin brother, played by Tom Ellis as well. And I feel like they did a disservice to the end of the episode where it's revealed that Lucifer's twin is there. Because it would have been one of those, wait, what the hell is going on? Because we see what we think is Lucifer with Chloe, but then it pans down and he's still in hell. And we're like, but we already knew it was Michael. And so this first part of season 5, it figures out a way to bring Lucifer back up to Earth, and while still keeping the demon hordes occupied, apparently. It looks like they're going to throw yet another obstacle between Lucifer and Chloe, and thankfully they don't let it be there very long. And Michael is revealed as being the bad twin very early, which I was so relieved by. Kudos to Tom Ellis. He plays these 2 drastically different characters. Lucifer is suave, and he's like the sweetest, like, most dysfunctional man-child you could ever imagine, and completely and utterly sexy. Whereas Michael is this oily, he's slimy. He is a slimy guy. His posture is up. Like, he looks like he's sporting like a wound that never quite healed. He's got an American accent that's kind of nasally and a little bit on the Bronxy side for Michael, whereas his accent for Lucifer is very British and it's very suave. And you forget when he's on screen as Michael, you forget that he's Lucifer. It's a great acting job, honestly. But yeah, I watched the first, it's 8 episodes. I watched the first 6. No, actually I finished the whole season in one day. I watched the first 6 up in my room, and then I had to take a break and help out with dinner. And then I told Dan, I was like, look, you can watch whatever you want, but I'm finishing the season. So I watched all 8 episodes in one day, and then I'm still having withdrawals. I'm like, I want to see more. And I am
At
going to
least
go
they
back and
put the
watch.
season in the middle.
Well, yeah, and they left it off on this great cliffhanger. You know that it's coming back soon. So they're gonna finish filming in October. Fingers crossed. They're still on track for that. And they've been editing all of the other episodes. So basically all they have left to do is to put some polish on most of the part 2 of season 5, and then finish filming and editing the last episode. So it could be out as soon as December of this year.
Because that was like the last season of Walking Dead. I'm watching it. I get to the last episode of the season, and it's been building all season to this awesome moment. Did I accidentally skip it? Like, what happened?
Oh, no.
Oh, they were filming the last days of it when they had to shut down set. And so they even looked at trying to edit it so that they could push it through, but they said they would have had to compromise too much of the story to make it happen. So I didn't even get to the cliffhanger.
Yeah. Oh, that sucks. No, this one ends, and like I said, spoilers, people. This ends with this epic freaking angelic smackdown at the police precinct. So Lucifer's brother Amenadiel can freeze time, but he hasn't been able to do it since he came back to Earth and has decided to live with, and help raise his son. But he panics when he realizes that his son is actually not half angel. His son is completely human. And he ends up, instead of slowing down time, he stops it altogether. And Michael, behind the scenes, has been manipulating everybody's fears the whole time. Because whereas Lucifer can draw out people's desires, Michael draws out people's fears. And then he starts manipulating and playing with it. And it is really well done. And so what ends up happening is that you've got Lucifer, Michael, Amenadiel, and then Mazikeen, who's a demon. And I have to admit, her arc was the only thing I was frustrated about, because yet again, somebody manipulates her and she suddenly hates Lucifer. It's just like 5 seasons of this, I'm done. But anyway, there's this epic celestial smackdown happening at the precinct. Lucifer, Amenadiel, and Michael furl out their wings, and they're about to just like throw it down even more, when all of a sudden this light bursts in the room, and this booming voice says, "Children, that's enough." And then it fades, and there's God, played by, I think it's Dennis Haysbert is playing God. And he's in this like cream colored sweater with a white t-shirt. And he's like, I hate it when you fight. And then it was ended. And you're just like, ah!
That is too funny.
It was great. It was perfect. It really was a perfect place to kind of take a break and then come back. So, yeah.
I am miffed with Netflix because they released their cancellation list.
Uh-oh. Who's on it?
I'm gonna get the name wrong because it's something complicated, but it's the I don't think I'm not okay with this.
Are you kidding me?
And they flat out, they said it was ready to go to season 2. They were prepped for it. Pandemic hit. And now with the new regulations of what they have to do, it wasn't popular enough to cross the threshold for that. And so it wasn't originally supposed to get canceled, but pandemic caused this. So I'm willing to give them a little bit of a slide, but I'm still miffed that just like Warrior Nun, this wasn't a whole season.
No.
It ended where it should have probably began. And so Thanks, Netflix.
That's terrible.
I would cancel Netflix if I didn't steal it from somebody else.
They better not cancel Warrior Nun, because where they left it is such a big fuck you to people. I mean, jeez.
But that's exactly, I mean, at least since 8 had a season arc finished.
Yeah.
The story wasn't done, but at least that season got wrapped up. Warrior Nun.
No.
It was a giant FU, and I'm not okay with this. Like, and yet, Stranger Things. Did we need 3 more seasons? No.
3? This was supposed to be the final season.
It's not.
Oh my God. See, but showrunners need to stop doing this. It's like, until you know for sure you're getting a next season, stop ending your shows on cliffhangers. Just stop.
And I'm sorry, but Stranger Things, don't get me wrong, I really liked the last season, but
I did too.
I'm ready for it to be over.
Well, and they could have ended it there. I mean, honestly, I know that's not a popular opinion, but it felt complete to me.
The only thing that I want more of is I want more of her family.
That's a really good point.
But I don't think that needs to be Stranger Things. I think that could be a prequel series, a sequel, a parallel. It doesn't even matter.
Yeah, agreed.
Because they don't need the Upside Down to be the villain, I guess.
Mm-hmm. No, it's a good point.
3 more seasons, but I can't even get a full season of any show I like.
That sucks balls. Well,
You see Netflix.
We're going to take a quick break. And before we hit the deep dive, so stay tuned. And here is a very quick message.
Desperate to read a great cape and cowl story but unable to find any on Amazon? Want a new anti-hero to love to hate? Need some women heroes in your super team rotation? Superhero Fiction is here to help. With over 300 curated superhero books and counting, you're sure to find the novel that will scratch your itch. Unless, of course, that itch is a radioactive spider bite, and then, well, you're on your own. Superherofiction.com. Real fans read.
All right, we're back. So, I don't think we need a spoiler warning for any of this. Just go to YouTube and watch the trailers. Crank out loud.
Yeah, I don't have any inside info that will give away more than what we already know.
And I actually looked. I looked at some articles and stuff, and there's no new news actually on most of this stuff. So,
let's do I want to get because it's going to be a lot of Suicide Squad here.
Yeah.
Suicide Squad killed the Justice League.
It's a video game.
It's a video game. The trailer for it was actually a really long cutscene, and the whole time I was watching, I was like, the 2 minutes of this cutscene is better than the first Suicide Squad movie.
Yes.
And I almost like Boomerang?
Captain Boomerang. Yeah. He was so annoying. Like, not in this, but like in the first Suicide Squad movie. Honestly, though, I was like, so this is they're tying in, because you've got King Shark, you've got Harley Quinn, Captain Boomerang, and Deadshot in the video game. In this cutscene.
So the game is based off the Injustice League, and it's basically, let's just go back old school and say it's basically Mortal Kombat. Nothing actually changes. You get some new characters, you get a reimagined storyline, but it's the same game over and over again.
Yeah.
So,
and I liked Injustice. Injustice is for what it is. I really liked it.
And I really liked it. So one day we, it was on like Christmas night or something. I never celebrate Christmas on Christmas. So Christmas night, my internet went out, and I was like, I can't watch any movies. I can't do anything. So I wound up playing Injustice League just so I could watch all the cutscenes.
There is some some good cutscenes in there, and it's cinematic quality. I mean, honestly, it's really good.
And weirdly enough, I could have just watched the Injustice League animated movie, and it would have been the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So this, I feel, is just that again. So if you really like those games, I feel you're going to get more of what you like. And I like, again, the spin that you have Z-list characters fighting your A-listers.
That is good.
I like underdog stories. So, you know, making Superman your ultra villain is one. I just like him as a villain way more.
Yeah, agreed.
But
the purple eyes were nice. I was like, oh, that's creepy.
And it was kind of like the Brightburn movie.
Yeah, it really was.
But I also think having like these weird characters, like I want to know like what are Shark's abilities gonna be? Because I want to that I would play.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
well, and the whole like, well, basically they have so in Injustice you've got a couple of like really really gory graphic moves that are just like, oh, kind of moves. And so I'm wondering what King Shark's would be. Like, would it be like he bites off your arms and then he throws you? Like, I'm just like, really curious.
I don't know, but I do kind of want to. I want a cutscene of just him and Aquaman. So.
Oh my God! Yes. So, I wonder what locations you get to choose too, because you got to choose these weird locations in Injustice. So like the aquarium, is that an option?
Which it kind of was in Injustice. I mean, it was his. It was the throne room.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, and you could shatter. I think you could shatter. It's been a while. You could shatter.
You could knock the globe down. And
yeah. I liked Themyscira best because you could like jump up and pull down on this thing, and it was like flames came out, and you. I just loved it.
I think my favorite was at the Peace Memorial outside, because you have oh God, I'm not gonna think of her name. The giant
Giganta.
Yeah.
Giganta.
Walking through the background.
And I know, that was nice. That was a nice touch.
So again, I'm not super excited for it because I don't have a game system anymore. But if you are an Injustice fan, I think you're going to get more of what you love. Yeah. And I think with the weird characters that they're picking, you're going to get some interesting power usage.
Yeah, I didn't think about that when I saw the trailer. Honestly, I think the trailer does it a disservice because I was bored. Yeah, to be honest, I wanted to see. I think they should have showed us gameplay instead of this really prolonged cutscene.
Well, and especially because we just got Suicide Squad, and that's exactly what they're trying to play off of.
Yeah. Oh, totally. But
build up the hype of Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
But for people who want gameplay, like I kind of want to see what they do.
Exactly.
So the other game that they showed was Gotham Knights.
I am in love with this game.
I'm a little biased on this one. I hate the Arkham games, mostly because they're too complicated for me.
I have never played them, honestly. This almost makes me want to.
And I've watched a buddy of mine play much of the first and second one. So I get the gameplay. It's really well done. The mechanics are complicated. It's not redundant, though it got a little redundant here and there. But it was different enough each time that it was captivating. I felt the downsides to it was you're stuck playing Batman. And every level, like you'll get a new something, but you're still Batman.
Yeah.
Well, funny story, Gotham Knights solves this problem.
Brilliantly, I feel like.
So essentially, Batman's dead.
I know. Hooray! I'm sorry, guys, but it's time.
Yeah, and not even I'll talk about my dislike of the character later, but as far as the game goes, I just like that they've found a way to evolve Arkham to more than Batman, because other than tweaking gameplay, given a new suit or a new vehicle, it's still the same game. But now you have
Nightwing, Red Hood, Robin, and Batgirl,
who, just on observation, each have a very different skill set.
It's very different. It looks like very different kind of gameplay. So depending on what you want to do, like Batgirl looks more acrobatic with cool flips, using the batarangs, using nunchucks, whereas Red Hood looks way more like the brawler. Nightwing looks like kind of like a cross between Batgirl and Red Hood. And I don't remember seeing a whole lot of Robin's gameplay.
Robin just starts out with the first drop in, but we don't see gameplay for him.
Yeah.
But so I think if you're been a fan of Arkham and you felt that it was getting a little bit stale in gameplay, I think they're offering you a solution. So, I mean, it was enough to make me think maybe I should get a PlayStation again.
Is it only on PlayStation?
I don't even know.
We have a Switch, and I'm going to take a gander and say it's probably not going to come out for the Switch, but if it does, I am getting that game because that just looks amazing.
I don't think it could for the violence.
There's Mortal Kombat for the Switch. I have Mortal Kombat. Oh, yeah.
Because I know that there is a violence clause for Nintendo.
Well, Mortal Kombat, it's the newest one, and I have that for the Switch. But the most of their games are family friendly, but they do have a couple. Like they don't have anything like Grand Theft Auto or anything like that, but they do have Mortal Kombat, and there's a couple other combat games that they've got that are more violent, but they don't have many. Most of their staple is indie game designers, and then your family friendly Mario Party and that kind of thing.
I'm going to assume that it's going to be for Xbox and PlayStation.
Probably.
Just based on the graphics, I mean.
Yeah. Although Mortal Kombat on the Switch, I was shocked. It was really good.
Really?
Yeah. And we got the Switch mainly because we have kids. So it's like, well, we need a family friendly option. And now I'm like, damn it.
I had a PS4. My problem was I would just lose 8 hours of my day and be like, what have I accomplished?
Yeah. I'm less of a console player these days and more of a PC player. So I don't do a lot of console playing, but I probably would for that, to be honest.
So let's get on to the movies, but let's start with the most obscure of them. Black Adam.
So what was that?
So
what did I just see?
It was like, so Marvel, and I'm sure DC did this too, but Marvel released a bunch of movies from comic books, and what they are is they're motion comics. So like Emma Frost would come into the room and her hand would move up and she would turn to the camera. But that was it. That was the whole animation of that panel. And this felt very much like a motion comic.
Okay.
Still frames with motion in them. It was almost kind of like a book trailer in a weird way.
It felt like they took their concept boards and jazzed them up a little bit and then filmed them. That's what it felt like.
So we were originally supposed to believe that Black Adam was going to be in the first Shazam movie, and that rumor kept kind of popping up, but I'm not even sure where the rumor really came from.
I don't know either. I think fans were just kind of hopeful more than anything else.
But we knew that The Rock was going to play Black Adam when Shazam was filming. So it's been in the works.
Yeah.
And the only thing that I can make the connection to based off this trailer are the people who, so basically Black Adam was a slave many, many eons ago and was given power, rose up and stuff. And the only connection to Shazam is if you look closely, the wizards that imprisoned him are the wizards from Shazam.
Oh, okay. Is he a villain?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I almost wonder if this is going to be an Injustice League-esque movie, or if it's going to be a hero turn or a villain turned to hero. I got to be honest, I kind of just want him to be a villain. Just
yeah.
a little bit.
Well, and the trailer did nothing to make me want to. I'm not sure why they did it. So this is the thing that I'm really not sure of. Like, if you're doing a live action film, why are you throwing this out there? Honestly, like, I don't understand what they were trying to accomplish.
Well, and I don't think, like, I don't know how much filming has even been done yet. The Rock has been attached to it for 2 years now. So he spoke at the panel, but was this just a opening trailer so he could speak? Because it didn't give much away other than it was going to be a Black Adam origin story.
Yeah.
I don't know where it's going to start, but the concept art led us to believe from his creation to modern day after a 5,000-year imprisonment. So I'm kind of interested because it's kind of like a bad Superman, but
meh. I mean, yeah, meh.
I mean, I like The Rock.
I do too. I do. I like him, but I mean, based on this trailer, it doesn't make me want to spend my money at the theater.
When was the last time we saw The Rock as a villain?
Have we ever?
I don't know. I was trying to think about this while I was watching the trailer. I'm ready for an evil Moana.
Yeah, an evil Maui.
Yeah.
Which, side note, really quick, if nobody has seen the video of him trying to convince his daughter that he's Maui, go find that. Go find that. It's the best thing you'll see all day.
And he sings "You're Welcome" to his daughter when he's teaching her how to wash her hands for how long.
Yep.
So The Rock is just, he went from I think you're a little bit of a joke as an actor to I'm on board. You've won.
Yeah. Agreed. Totally agreed.
So let's talk Wonder Woman.
Okay.
Yay.
I freaking love this trailer.
So the trailer gave us the only thing we actually cared about. And Cheetah. That's it.
What does she look like? Now we know.
So we have seen reflections. We have seen distant CGI. We've seen still frame. We've seen everything. For the first time, we get to see her move.
We get to see a fight scene. We get to see a little bit of the fight, which I really loved. And I loved it because we saw full-blown Cheetah and we saw pre-transformation Kristen Wiig kicking her butt too.
I'm still not 100% sold on Kristen Wiig for action scenes. Everything else I'm okay with. The one fight maneuver that they show her was a little bit hokey, but it's out of context, so I can't tell.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
In drill thing she does.
Yeah.
The rest of it's all, I mean, it could have been a dude wearing a leotard for all I know, because it's like her leg sweeping or a fist, but that was the only time we saw a full body Kristen Wiig.
Well, and it was very, very fast, which some people are going to complain about. What?
I slowed it down.
Did you? Some people are going to complain about that, but that's Cheetah. And that's one of the reasons why she can get a leg up on Wonder Woman. And I'm really hoping, because honestly, Cheetah should be a very formidable villain. And I'm hoping that they do that in the movie. And from the trailer, it looks like they're going to be doing that. It looks like they're going to have Diana have a real conflict, because this was her friend and now it's her adversary. And I really love that dynamic as well.
And again, I think that's the same thing for Superman. You can't make a Superman villain that's more powerful than Superman. There's so few of them at this point. So you have to tap into the moral dilemma.
Exactly.
Which is the true antagonist of the plot line. So
Exactly. Yeah.
I think that relationship is going to be super important. And Kristen Wiig is being this kind of dorky. We've seen it in Ghostbusters.
Mm-hmm.
She can be intelligent but still quirky. I'd watch Ghostbusters over and over again.
I love that movie so much. Love it.
I have the scene where she gets all badass as a bookmark. It's just, I need a badass moment.
But
So-
I also love, we saw more of Steve Trevor in this, which the whole picking out his clothes at the end of the trailer was like, my heart, I really love this so much.
My only problem, and I don't know, like, I'm thinking back to the first movie, he wasn't the comedian in the first one. There were some ironic, humorous moments where the language barrier or cultural barrier created humor.
Yeah.
But
he wasn't bumbling.
This feels a little bumbling. And
it does.
But granted, I mean, he's out of time. So
Yeah.
I'm willing to give some allowances. I'm curious enough to overlook any of my apprehension to go see it.
Yeah. Well, the fanny pack moment was like, oh my God.
The parachute.
The parachute pants.
Parachute?
Yeah. Well, and this trailer reinforced my belief that Steve isn't really there. That Lord has the cosmic, it's like I forget exactly what it's called. I think it's called the cosmic shard. And it enables him to manipulate people and what they feel and what they see. And I'm kind of convinced that Steve is a manifestation of Lord using that against Diana. That's been a fan theory, and I feel like it was reinforced a little bit more in this trailer because you have Lord's voiceover about desire and creating that, and manipulating it, and then you got that over Diana and Steve. And so it makes me really think that he's not there, and that's going to break my fangirl heart. But
well, and I was going to say, like, if that's the situation, you might be promising something that you're not going to deliver on. And
we all know it's his last movie. It's Chris Pine has said this is his last foyer as Steve Trevor. So I don't know.
We'll see.
We'll see.
So yeah, that one, I'm not willing to go sit in a theater and potentially die to go see it, but
no.
I would think about it, but not do it.
I'm hoping they don't release it until it's safe to go, because I want to go opening weekend. I've gone opening weekend for Captain Marvel and Wonder Woman. I want to go opening weekend for Wonder Woman 1984.
I have a sneaking theory that what they're going to start doing is, because they have deals with movie theaters, that it must be put into the movie theater first. I'm almost wondering what they're going to do right now is put it into a movie theater for one day and then release it on streaming.
Oh, well, like, they're
premium streaming.
They're releasing Mulan beginning of September.
Is going to tank, by the way.
Well, no, it's they're releasing it on their streaming service.
Yeah.
It's a premium for $30.
$30. They did polls after they announced that. It's going to fail.
I hope you're probably right. I'm hoping not. We're gonna do it because the girls have been waiting months to see Mulan. So we're gonna go ahead and do it. But
for $30 on a service I already pay for. Don't get me wrong, I would pay more. $30. And granted, it's targeting families where that's still a cheap night out.
Yeah.
Me?
I know. It's not for you. We took the girls to their first drive-in movie this last weekend, and it was, it's second run stuff, right? So it was the Lego Movie was the family feature. And we paid $34 to get into the drive-in as a family. And I turned to Dan, I was like, Mulan's going to end up being cheaper, because the girls wanted movie theater popcorn. And so we got a tub of popcorn. We snuck in candy. Like, we're not the only ones that do that shit, but we got a tub of popcorn. And with that, it was like $37. So it's like,
I'm sorry, drive-through. The whole point of a drive-through is you bring your McDonald's with you
Exactly.
to the drive-through or
Yeah.
to the drive-in. You
But
drive through,
anyway,
then drive in.
exactly. But anyway, Mulan for $30 is actually going to be cheaper than the drive-in. So anyway,
I'm still irked that there's no singing.
No singing? Oh, in Mulan?
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
Nope.
It didn't work so well with Beauty and the Beast. Trust me on that.
I'll Make a Man Out of You. Still my favorite Disney song.
I love that song. I do love that song.
I mean, that's almost a bedroom soundtrack right there. All right. So we're going to get in. Let's talk Suicide Squad, because this is going to be the one that I think was kind of no one wanted this movie, period.
No.
I
thought it was the dumbest idea. I was like, are you kidding me? You're going to make a sequel to the movie that everybody reviled? What is wrong with you?
It's not a sequel because it's the Suicide Squad.
You know what? I don't even care. And I'm going to tell you why. So even though I'm starting to hate the idea that I'm calling it the Highlander principle in films, because James Gunn, while being a great filmmaker, and he was perfect for Guardians of the Galaxy, that was great, but there are other directors that can give you that same feel besides James Gunn. So I'm just going to say that right now, but also say I'm also happy that he's doing a Suicide Squad movie, because it looks, just from the lineup they've got, it looks like what it should have been in the first place. It's weird, it's quirky, it's got amazing action sequences, it's not taking itself too seriously. Give me that.
And here's the thing, I think they needed a actor with a director with a major name to attach to the project, because you had to overcome studio objection.
Mm-hmm.
Because even the studio wouldn't have wanted Suicide Squad 2.
Yeah.
So I think by kind of almost bringing in your big guns,
See what you did there.
You're basically setting it up at least to get attention enough to be rediscovered. I also think James Gunn does a really great tone.
Yeah.
I think that this is 100% a power play to get some of the Marvel fanboys over there. I think that's the exact reason why Joss Whedon showed up on Snyder. Don't get me wrong, big name directors and all that. Notice how a lot of the Marvel ones are now going over to DC.
Yeah.
There's marketing behind this.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, so, there is.
I think this movie, one, the reason Suicide Squad is fun is because it's your dysfunctional family.
Yeah.
In the first one, it tried way too hard to be a dark, gritty action movie. But what we wanted were the messed up relationships.
Yeah.
Oh,
and they had those moments here and there. Like the bar scene comes to mind.
Exactly.
And I was like, give me more of that. You know what I mean? Like, I want to see more of that. And I am so glad that they got Viola Davis back as Amanda Waller. She's the only person that could play that role. And I am so delighted that she's doing it again.
I hope she gets a more not necessarily an action scene, but an Amanda Waller scene.
Yeah, agreed.
Because when she just started killing people, I was like, there's the Amanda Waller we all love.
I know. I hate to say it, but it's one of my favorite moments in the whole movie when she slaughters the whole room of agents. I'm like, aw.
In the movie, one, having Joker in the movie was probably the biggest piss poor decision. Because Jared Leto, I love Jared Leto as an actor. He was fucked up and creepy in that. Yeah. That wasn't the Joker that you wanted in a lighthearted misfit adventure movie.
No.
That was the thing of horror movies.
Yeah. No, that was a huge mistake.
There were so many tonal issues that
But so we don't have any scenes. The trailer they gave us was the lineup, basically.
Yeah.
But first of all, the way they did it, the stylistic choice of the trailer, combined with the fact that you have literally the weirdest group of villains humanly possible, to me sets the tone and says, yeah, we recognize what this needs to be, and we're going to give you the weird and wonderful dysfunction and bizarro powers. And they've all said, don't get attached to any of these characters. And it's such a huge lineup that I was like, well, half those people are definitely dead by the end of that film.
I want to see if they out Deadpool with getting rid of X-Force. Because let's be honest, in the first Suicide Squad, that was the funny part. Like, two people were just destined to die. So now you're kind of like, which ones will it be this time?
Well, and it's 18. So I counted, including Amanda Waller, it's 18 people. And I'm like, but that also, so I love that, and I'm nervous about it at the same time, because that is a huge ensemble cast to juggle.
X-Men 3?
I know, but I don't think it succeed. I don't know. I'll have to go back and rewatch it because it's really been a long time. But
X-Men 3 forced in so many people into the plot that no one got a plot line because there wasn't enough time. If you actually, in a 120-minute episode, there were at least 60 characters. That's 2 minutes of development per character, if you're lucky. Oh, and we need an actual plot. So all of those are going to get dropped down to mostly like 30 seconds at best. And that's what has me a little bit nervous is this front loading, especially because we've seen James Gunn does really well with a small, intimate, like a 5-person ensemble.
Mm-hmm.
So, because I'm sorry, Guardians of the Galaxy 2 wasn't great.
I have a special place in my heart for that one, but it was weaker than the second. Or weaker than the first one. I'll grant you that. But here's the thing, too, is I'm really hoping we don't get... So in the first Suicide Squad movie, we had those breaks where it was like, here's their backstory. Here's the backstory moment. You know what? I don't need Polka Dot Man's backstory. I really don't. I don't care.
And I liked that in the first... I liked it for... It was like, origin story, over. 30 seconds.
I'll grant you that.
In every new superhero movie, that's how I want them to do the origin story.
Yeah.
That means the new Batman movie could be 30 seconds long.
Oh my God. We'll talk about that in a minute. But I'm hoping they don't, I want character development, but I'm also hoping that they don't try to shoehorn so many moments in that you're just like, this doesn't make any sense. And I don't think James Gunn would do that. He has a pretty good track record. So I'm hopeful, I guess.
I do kind of hope that this is not Harlequin and Company. Because one of the things I like about Birds of Prey was, even though she was the primary character, they did a really good job of revolving people around her. You can't do that with this many characters, or it's going to turn into everyone gets 1 minute.
I hope she's just part of the ensemble is what I'm really hoping. And there are some interesting, and there are some really interesting female characters. Like, the one that I'm a little nervous about, and I'm not going to lie because the name is racist, is Mongol. They have an Asian woman, Ming-Na. It's not Ming-Na. Is it Mei Ling? God, I feel bad. I just looked at her IMDb page. So you've got Mongol, you've got Harley Quinn, you've got Amanda Waller, you've got Ratcatcher 2, and you've got Soul. Can't remember her. Solsana, I think is her name. But I don't know much about Mongol. I think in the comics, Mongol is actually a male character, and they have gender flipped it, which go James Gunn. Do that all over the fucking place as far as I'm concerned. But that's the only one that I'm like, that name is really tricky. So it'll be interesting to see what he does with that, but I'm loving the fact that we have female characters in here more than Harley Quinn. You know what I mean?
Mongol is a alien?
Yeah. That's about it, honestly.
Yep.
But anyway, I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful because it's James Gunn. I'm hopeful because it's got just the weirdest group of people, villains assembled. And that's exactly what you need to do for Suicide Squad. And it's what you and I have been talking about with DC and even Marvel is give us some variety. We don't need another Spider-Man. We don't need another Batman. We need the weird and the wonderful.
And you don't know. Polka Dot Man may wind up having the biggest goddamn fandom out of this, and we might get a Polka Dot Man feature.
Or just like a limited run comic. Who the hell knows?
Again, Deadpool. Meh. He's a dude from the 90s. And look what's happened with that. So I definitely think that these are opportunities for a franchise to build their underserved, which will bring us directly into the Batman. So
I'll catch this on Amazon. I'm not going to the theater and spending my money on another Batman movie. Thanks anyway.
I wouldn't pay for this.
No. I hope it's on Prime. I'll watch it if it's on Prime.
I hope it's on like Sci-Fi.
Oh my God.
Crunchyroll. Like I want it to be a crap app.
Oh my God. Hulu buys it. Hulu never gets the good movies.
TBS.
Oh, ouch. Dude, you went there. Damn.
Yeah.
I'm just like, people are like, but we get a young Catwoman. So
you've got twice.
Exactly. We get a gritty Batman.
Got that?
And like,
so
you're not giving me anything new.
There was literally nothing in that trailer that I haven't seen done somewhere else. So what are you offering me? Because right now I'm seeing them try to sell the suit.
Which isn't, okay, so I am really kind of curious about the suit because it looks like instead of one piece, it looks like movable plates, which actually kind of makes more sense for Batman, if you want my honest opinion. But that's it. I'm not paying $10 to go look at your suit in a movie theater.
The most interesting thing in your movie shouldn't be an inanimate object.
No, it shouldn't. And Robert, to be clear, I am not dissing this because of Robert Pattinson, okay? That's not it. It's the fact that we don't need another freaking Batman movie. And what I want in a Batman movie is Gotham Knights. What they showed us for that video game, give me that. That is interesting. Show me some members of the Bat family handling the fallout of Batman dying. And what does that do to Gotham? That would be so much more interesting.
The rumor mill of Batman Beyond.
Give me that.
Give me that. So essentially, what we get in this trailer is we get Catwoman. Okay, we've had 3 recent iterations of her.
Yeah, well, we've got Anne Hathaway. We've got the one from the TV show Gotham, and Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah, and she looked like the middle of the 3 of them merged into one.
Yeah.
The Lucius, don't get me wrong, I have a soft spot for him because I love Westworld so much. But I'm not going to pay money to see a movie to see where he's in it for like 3 minutes.
So wait, is he Lucius or is he Commissioner Gordon?
Oh. I think he was Commissioner Gordon because he had a snap.
Yeah. So I think he's Commissioner Gordon. And again, I like that actor, but no.
I just love the fact that he has such a big emotional range and yet he's monotone.
I know, exactly.
Fascinating.
Yes.
Well,
and it's grisly. We see a grisly kind of weird ass murder, but honestly, I feel like we got that in The Dark Knight with Heath Ledger's Joker.
And then we get there's the Joker
gang.
Squad gang.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So again, we've gotten that how many times?
Yeah.
And then
we get a young Penguin.
Young Penguin. We get the Riddler.
The Riddler, which
don't care enough.
No, I really don't.
And don't get me wrong, I do not want another Joker ever.
No.
I dislike
But-
him as much as the Batman situation. But you're drawing on the only 4. You know what? Let's redo Mr. Freeze. You got that wrong last time. That one needs to be redone.
It does. Well, so does Poison Ivy.
Yeah.
Honestly. I mean, the
Uma, I love
creepily
you, but that-
creepily aging her up in Gotham just so she could, try to get with young Bruce Wayne. That was icky. I mean, that was seriously gross.
Well,
And
she was
what
played by 3 actresses over 4 seasons.
Exactly. And what I didn't like is what they did with the Riddler in this trailer is they're basically like, well, we're going to say it's the Riddler, but really it's the Joker. Because that's the tone that they set. This, to me, is no different than Heath Ledger's Joker in Dark Knight.
And someone said, I read this really great thing that was posted in our superhero group, that the problem is they never give Batman a villain to make him a detective. So the only thing he has left to go on is to be a martial artist.
Exactly.
And okay, there's a couple riddles to solve, but there's no, ultimately, it's just going to be him pounding the snot out of someone. And
yeah, which I found kind of disturbing. They showed that in the trailer. And not only does he knock a guy down, what part of the Joker gang or whatever, but you get the impression that he might actually kill the guy by beating the absolute shit out of him.
which is, we got a gritty Batman with the Dark Knight, but wait, there's more grit to be had.
Yeah, no, I don't need that.
And then what makes it even more obnoxious is because there's only one superhero that can possibly get any attention, we're also going to do an HBO Max prequel series that will be about Batman.
Okay, so I did not watch that trailer because I was just done. I'm going to be honest.
I don't think they
done.
had the trailer for that one. I think that was just an announcement.
Oh, okay. Oh my God. Seriously though. Stop.
You know what I would rather watch?
Paint dry?
Anything.
Yeah.
I'm going to go watch Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern. I would rather watch freaking Catwoman again.
Holy shit, dude. Actually, yeah, I probably would too.
At least it was a different take on Catwoman. It was horrible, but it was something I hadn't seen before.
And at least Ryan Reynolds in and of himself is entertaining.
I mean,
he's nice to look at.
There were some cool special effects.
Yeah.
It's not the same character trying to be reinvented 8 ways, but still coming up with the same character at the end of the day.
Yeah. Well, and this is a little thing, but it didn't annoy me. So, in the Michael Keaton Batman movies, so when they show Gotham during the day, it is perpetually overcast. The sun literally never shines in Gotham in the Michael Keaton movies, which is fine. I'm okay with that. But they used this kind of blue wash over Gotham for those movies, and they did the exact same thing in this trailer for the Gotham daytime scenes. And I was like, okay, I'm done. You're recycling the same visual tricks from your 1980s Batman franchise.
And this is how bad it is. Was Suicide Squad wonderful? No, it was a pretty bad movie, but I hadn't seen it before.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I've seen it 18,000 different times, but at least it was a new take on a superhero film.
Yeah.
So that's been, you only have like several thousand characters at your disposal.
Yeah.
And everyone keeps saying that the reason they keep doing it is because it's everyone's favorite. Well, if you don't give them the chance to have a different favorite.
There you go.
I mean,
and it's relatively hard to fuck up, honestly. I mean, the Val Kilmer and George Clooney Batman movies aside, Batman is generally hard to get really wrong. And so I feel like they are sticking to the thing they know they can get right because they're risk averse at this point.
Well, and
that's a really shitty reason to recycle the same character over and over again.
And it would be it. I have the same, and this is not a DC versus Marvel thing. I feel the same way about Spider-Man. I'm done.
Yeah, exactly. I am too.
I was done. I like Tom Holland. Don't get me wrong. I was done last. I don't even know who the kid's name is.
Between Tobey Maguire and Tom Holland, I don't remember. But I do know they at least gave us Gwen Stacy, and I fucking love Gwen Stacy, so I was kind of happy about that. But that was it.
It was just like reboot again.
It's honestly why Into the Spider-Verse is the best Spider-Man movie, because it was different. It gave us something so different. So give us the Bat Family, not Batman.
So this is how I feel about it. I watched the Batman trailer. I was so disenchanted. I watched the Gotham Knights trailer after, and when Batman's talking about I'm dead, I was like, that was the ending we needed.
Exactly. I was like, I'm so happy right now.
Batman Beyond, I'll be first one in.
Yeah, me too.
I don't care who plays Batman. Old Batman, though, I do really hope it's Keaton, but I don't care. Yeah. I'm in it because it's new.
Yeah, and it has. I am going to say though, it has to be Michael Keaton. There is literally nobody else that could play Old Man Batman. Nobody.
The thing I think I was most excited about on all their announcements was that there's going to be a Static Shock movie.
I was totally over the moon about that. I was like, finally, you're giving us something different.
Somebody who, for the most part in the comics, was really underserved for a long period of time. The cartoon comes around and people are like, kids of the 90s are getting their heyday.
Yeah.
So I really was kind of hoping for Static Shock to show up in Black Lightning.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get that, so let's make a movie instead.
Well, and I mean, I would be even doubly so if it was like Static Shock and maybe throw Vixen in there. That would be kind of fun. I mean,
and so like the same thing happened for Harley Quinn. She was nothing.
No. But a very dysfunctional punching bag for the Joker. That's the only thing she was. And then people started doing really interesting things with her.
I mean, Marvel, get off your ass. There should be a Squirrel Girl movie.
Hell to the yes, there should be a Squirrel Girl movie.
Anna Kendrick is a woman on a mission for that.
She's all over that, but she's too skinny. I'm sorry, Anna. Squirrel Girl needs to be a bigger girl. She just does. And she's drawn way more curvy in the comics. And I really feel like
I would like to see Emma Stone.
Really?
Emma Stone she's my girl. I love her.
I love Emma Stone. Again, not right body type.
She's a curvy girl.
Emma Stone?
In Easy A, she is not skinny.
Okay, I always thought of her as pretty thin though.
Well, in Birdman, she was thin.
Oh, was she?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that one yet. I have to push it.
She almost looked like she had a growth spurt.
Honestly, I like the actress from the show that got canceled. What's her name? This Is Not Okay. The main actress in that, she'd make a great Squirrel Girl.
Oh yeah, I'd be okay for that. And screw you, Netflix. So right. The last one, and this is always going to be an eye roll. We finally got to see the trailer for The Snyder Cut. And can we please stop calling it The Snyder Cut? Because it's not a recut, it's a reshoot. It's a new movie.
Yeah, it is. And it's also, it looks terrible, first of all. The visual effects are for shit. I'm just going to say it.
I'm wondering on the visual side if it's because it's the low render version before they like amp it up.
Maybe.
But there was nothing in it. Like, I'm sorry, Ben Affleck. Just, you make me want to laugh. When he's like, but they've never faced us united. Like, Did you just think you dropped the name of the movie? Do you know what movie you're in? Like,
actually, I think he was giving a wink to Wonder Woman, like later tonight.
Like, he might as well have just been like, they've never seen us Justice Leagued. I was like, are you like? I get why that got cut and put on the floor. Like,
yeah. Well, and here's the thing. Zack Snyder, if you need 4 hours to tell a Justice League story, then you don't know what the fuck you're doing. And I'm just going to say it. Marvel earned that 3 hour or so running time for Endgame, for the last, that wrap up of the MCU. They earned it with, I don't even know how many films. They earned that right. They
20
earned
plus
all that.
films, 10 years.
Yeah.
And you can't tell basically a sequel story in under 4 hours. I don't even know if I want to sit through that at home. Like,
Lord of the Rings wasn't even that long. Each of the Lord of the Rings movies was
I
under
got halfway through
4 hours.
Eurovision, went to bed, and watched the rest the next day. Like, I need some pacing.
Well,
So,
and I will admit to this wholeheartedly, without shame, that this will forever be colored for me because of the toxicity of the fan base that screamed and threw a tantrum for this cut of the film. Because they were the most petulant man children I think I've ever seen in my entire life.
No. We need to take the last 3 Star Wars out of canon. Those are the most petulant man children. These are going to be a close second.
I think they're the same.
Yes.
I would venture to guess they're the same. But I'm just, fine. Joss Whedon, and honestly, I think the fault is with Warner Brothers. Why would you bring Joss Whedon in to finish a Zack Snyder film? Have you not seen any of Joss Whedon's movies? Do you not know tonally what he does as a director? And have you never watched Zack Snyder's movies? These two men tonally are completely different storytellers. So of course it's going to be a disjointed mess.
And I think there are some Zack Snyder films I really do like. Granted, no one else seems to. I stand by Watchmen to this day. Don't get me wrong, the story some people don't like, but that is the story.
I mean, that is the graphic novel. The visuals were beautiful in that movie.
And we only got like solar flare like 3 times in that movie. I like.
Wait, can we talk about the fact though that Zack Snyder did not learn the key lesson from The Watchmen, which was don't fucking use Hallelujah in a superhero film?
Oh my God! Can I just tell you that everything about that trailer was
self-aggrandizing? Look at me and my big wang.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was a masturbatory fantasy for somebody, and I don't know who.
Zack Snyder and the fans that wanted the Snyder cut. Like that
trailer. Someone had lube nearby.
I told Dan, I was like, "Can you hear it?" And he's like, "What?" I was like, "All the toxic fanboys are jacking off right now."
And don't get me wrong, like I will be the first one to say there were some things in the trailer that I did think might have improved. So part of my problem was the Flash in the original. He was such a waste of a character.
Oh yeah.
Like, served no purpose other than comedic punchline, except he wasn't funny. So he was useless teenager
on many levels. Yeah.
And so this, at least I was like, oh, Flash has a role in the Justice League. Okay, I'm on board with that. So, and I mean, Aquaman, I think, is still just going to be kind of Aquaman, because even with Wonder Woman in it, Aquaman, I think, was the best part of Justice League.
Yeah. Well, I like him and Wonder Woman. To me, I was like, yeah, I could watch those 2 all day. Let's have a Wonder Woman Aquaman movie.
Wonder Woman was tainted by Batman.
A little bit, yeah. I didn't revile Ben Affleck as much as you in that role, but
The Flash sideways, forward, backwards. I don't even know what was going on. Like,
yeah. honestly, the Flash and Cyborg felt incredibly underserved in that movie, and apparently, in this new version of the film, they have more screen time.
Well, and I think this is, I think the whole problem with this process was Warner Brothers wanted to get to Avengers Endgame first.
Yeah, without earning any of it, without setting up any of it. Why go straight to Darkseid?
Yeah,
why do that?
You could, and you didn't have to do it as an individual each origin film. I'm okay with, like, I like the Wonder Woman flashback.
Yeah.
It still fits perfectly, but now, like, you're having to use comic book level logic to justify your universe.
Yeah.
When the multiverse has to be, like, you're explaining to fans comics.
Mm-hmm. And you're doing it badly.
Because your movie universe is more convoluted than 60 years of comics.
And that says a lot. Honestly,
Yeah.
and that's why Zack Snyder needs 4 hours to tell a Justice League movie, and he shouldn't, because it's none of this movie. And I'll say it with the Joss Whedon version and with the Zack Snyder version, none of this movie was earned. Not one single inch of it was earned.
I just hope that there's 2 hours more of Martha.
Well, you will get the scene that you're pissed off was in the trailer but not in the movie.
Oh, with the in the field?
Yeah, the
which
cornfield.
Probably still won't be in the movie.
Well, you know what? I read something. So apparently Zack Snyder did take footage home with him. So because he put together a rough cut and then took it home. And so he's like, well, that's why
here's the problem with all of this. This is starting to sound like some fanboy conspiracy theory to justify, like,
yeah,
who would do that legally? Who would do that and screw the studio and the project over? Did you not want someone playing in your sandbox, so you took all the sand home?
It could be. So he left the film early because his daughter committed suicide. So a lot of people in Zack Snyder's camp are saying he wasn't thinking it through because he was grieving. Okay, I could give him that. All right, I'll give him that. And directors do sometimes take footage home to look at rough cuts and make notes. Like, they go through it. Okay, fine.
But as a lawyer to Warner Brothers, don't you think you would have gone knocking for a multi-million, hopefully a billion-dollar income project?
Yeah.
Like a text message?
You'd probably go and say, can I pick it up?
Yeah. I'm just put it in the Uber. They'll bring it back.
Exactly. So I think that this is, like you said, it's so masturbatory. Honestly, I can't stand this level of what this is.
And I will say, because of all of this, let's say Zack Snyder turns out an A+ film. It could happen. I could be here completely wrong. You've made me so bitter at this point that
I don't care.
You know what's also doing that? New Mutants.
Oh,
that movie could be the best thing to ever hit cinemas, and I'm walking into it angry. Like, I'm now walking in it to be mad.
Mm-hmm.
So what
I don't know. I'm not going to watch it. Honestly, I have zero desire to watch any of that at all.
I'm going to have someone else watch it and tell me if I should.
I have a good friend who will probably watch, Todd Downing, who does our commercials. He watched The Joker and Birds of Prey back to back. And I was like, well, that must have been whiplash. And he's like, The Joker is beautifully shot. It's wonderfully acted. He's like, I just don't care. And so he's my one friend that will watch movies that I'm like, I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole. And he'll watch it and he'll tell me honest to God truths about it. Like, he will deconstruct the crap out of it. And so I'm going to see if he's going to watch the Snyder version and just let me know how it was.
And I mean, to be fair, did I watch Underworld 4 or 5? I've even forgotten the conversation we had earlier. So I watched some pretty bad things.
Yeah. And I've enjoyed some pretty shitty movies. I mean, I'm going to be honest here.
And I mean, I probably watch more bad movies than good movies at this point. But very few of them have tried to sell me not just A+ level material. Like, this movie's going to come home and bake me fresh bread. You're not going to deliver.
Yeah. And none of the bad movies I've ever watched and liked have made me feel bitter or made me be like, you know, the fan base of this is just not okay.
So we're fully welcoming all the hate we're going to get for saying all of this, but
bring it.
So DC, we can say safely had some wins: Wonder Woman, Suicide Squad, Gotham Knights, and I'm going to say I will buy a movie ticket for Black Adam. I don't know what I'm expecting, but
It's for us, like, movie tickets include babysitters, so I really have to want to see it. I mean,
if there's nothing pressing against it opening weekend, okay.
Yeah. I'll see.
And then Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, if you're a fan of Injustice, sold.
Yep.
And then our is, of course, the Snyder Cut and always Batman.
Yep.
I can't wait until we have an episode where all we do is talk about the wonderfulness of Batman Beyond.
Oh my God.
I'm willing to be a fanboy for that.
I am willing to be a huge fangirl for that movie. I really am. So DC, get your shit together.
I have the animated series on Blu-ray.
I should buy that for Dan. I loved that series. Honestly, I thought it was brilliant.
I was so happy, and then when Static Shock showed up in it, I was even happier. It was the best of everything.
Well, the question of the week, I think, should be, what do you guys think about these trailers? Do you agree with us? Do you disagree with us? Are you going to see the 4-hour Wang Fest that is the Snyder Cut?
We promise we won't judge you. We're too busy judging the movie.
Exactly. I'm not going to... Look, here's the thing. I'm not going to yuck your yum. If you like it, you like it. That's cool. You already know my opinion. So.
I like X-Men 3. That's all I'm going to say. I mean, at the end of the day, that's the hill I'm willing to
That's where we're at right now. That's it.
So I kind of wish that Marvel would have done an event like this too.
Yeah, that would be nice.
They used San Diego Comic-Con for that, but I kind of just like the fact that this was very nicely packed DC event.
Very self-contained. Yeah.
DC, you got a lot of distribution issues. You're screwing over a lot of people left and right. Warner Brothers, your HBO Max, your app, your everything. I got problems. This, I will commend you on. I enjoyed every bit of it, and I did watch here and there quite long pieces of it. So more of this. I don't have to buy a ticket to go see it. Exactly.
That's the good part about it. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in to a very long episode of the Geekorama podcast. And
once the Zack Snyder cut is out, we will stop talking about it.
When is the release date on that, really quickly?
I don't know.
Do we know? Okay. Well, we don't care.
Oh,
really?
Yeah.
2021? Are you fucking kidding me? They're releasing it to a streaming service next year, and it's a pandemic? Oh, my God. DC.
Well, he's got to find a way to spend $20 million.
Nobody needs that much lube.
You know what? I bet you around his house, it's just nothing but solar flare. $20 million worth of lighting equipment to make perpetual light flares.
Yeah, because he's like, that's not bright enough.
All right. On that note, we do need to let you go.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
To stay up to date with the Geekorama podcast, you can watch our videos on YouTube or subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts. And if you enjoyed the show, leave us a review or hit the thumbs up button. New episodes are released on Thursdays for podcast listeners and YouTube fans.